Today, I'm going to speak about, that's the title right there, personality checked. It might seem a bit immature compared to all the other topics that have been spoken today. I feel out of all the lists, my one looks like it's been chosen by a 3-year-old. But anyway, okay. So human beings, right? We're fascinating creatures. I mean, human beings are fascinating creatures. I'm not human, I just live among you disguised. Okay, so, yeah, humans are interesting creatures. Sometimes we're drawn to them, sometimes we're repulsed by them. Some people have great personality. They might not be the center of attention or the most popular person around, but you just feel good being around them. And then some people we have to put up just for appearance's sake, and then you feel like every minute you spend with them is one more minute that, I don't know, you want to kill yourself or something. But anyway, yeah, so moving on to that, about personality, you know, okay, there's this thing called end of history phenomena, where we feel that our present self is how we're gonna be in the future. That means, for some reason, psychologists have found that we are capable, we believe that we've changed from who we were in the past, but who we are right now will be who we will be in the future. But that's not true, of course, because as we mature, as we age, we value and we appreciate things that change our perspective of things. For example, of course, this happens to men as well, but I'm just saying, ladies, you meet the man of your dreams at 20, but then you're divorced by 30. Why? Because your expectations, your dreams at 20 are different from when you're 30. You find that your expectations have shifted and that, you know, well, things just don't work out. So, yeah, that's about personality. Okay, so basically, I'm going to talk about when we talk about personality, it's always optimism, pessimists, and realists. Those are the three big ones that we know about, but of course there are capitalists, nihilists, communists, all that, anarchists. Okay, so yeah, about optimism, yeah? Optimists, you know how these people are. They're cheerful, they're happy. When you're down, you're feeling down, you go to them to cheer you up. Words associated with optimism are like happy-go-lucky, cheerful, friendly. They're the type of people, they have like this uplifting aura around them. You know, you feel happy to be with them. You look forward to being with them. But let me take note that optimism means like you look for the best in all situations, or you expect or hope for a good outcome. But if you don't have the skills to back up your optimism, then nothing's going to happen. For example, you're going to have a history test. If you haven't even bought the textbook, if you even poop rainbows, it doesn't matter. You're not going to pass the test no matter how optimistic you are. Okay? Now, next one is pessimism. Pessimism is like, you know, these people, they're always moping and like that, complaining about something, they drain you. You feel like, if you feel life has nothing to offer you, kill yourself and stop wasting the precious oxygen. No, I'm joking, please, no, never encourage anyone to commit suicide, except for cockroaches, those guys are yucky. Okay. But anyway, so these two states of mind, optimism and pessimism, they're not black and white, they're not good versus evil. Look at it as two ends of a spectrum, you know, one and the other. And you need both in life. You cannot be just one and you cannot be the other. For example, optimism taken to extremes basically would mean that you're living in a fantasy world where everything is perfect and you're in denial about the realities of life. As Mr. Harry Fear has said, the reality of life is there is pain and suffering. So therefore, you cannot be overly optimistic, because then you'll be living in a nonsensical world. Also, pessimism taken to extremes will lead to depression and hopelessness, where you feel like everything that happens to you in your life is just to screw you over, basically. But yeah, so that's what it is. An analogy for these, hang on. No, there's one more time. Okay, in the middle, there's optimism, pessimism, and then in the middle, there's realism or realists. These people They see things for what they are, just as they are, no more, no less. They're objective, they're impartial. These are the type of people that you would usually take to be your leaders and whatnot, because they weigh pros and cons, and then they decide what can and cannot be done. So the analogy for these three types of people, albeit a bad analogy, let's say it's raining. An optimist will say, yes, water falling from the sky, refresh the earth, make the weather cool. A pessimist will see the rain and be like, even the sky is sad, just like me. There'll probably a flash flood and I'll drown in it. And a realist will say, precipitation. The water cycle is still working. Okay, so yeah. But what I mean by that is that in life, as with everything else in life, you need to have a balance. You need a bit of optimism, a bit of pessimism, and a whole lot of realism. For an example, in a situation where you should be optimistic, if you're in a lucky draw or a family member is sick, then you should be optimistic that you'll get a good prize or your family member will get better. A situation where you should be pessimistic, for example, you're driving through heavy fog, you can't see anything, so you have to assume around the corner is an idiot waiting to hit you and send you to meet your maker. So you need both of these in life. So yeah, about people, right? No one is the same because, of course, our fingerprints are different, our dental records are different, our personality is different. No one here is the same exactly as the person sitting next to them, because, in my opinion, who we are is not 100%, us exactly. Who we are today isn't of our own construct. What I mean by that is, we are a collection of our experiences, the people we've dealt with, the people we love, the things we hate, the things we've been taught, the things we've been told to believe. So all these things, they influence who you are. And there's no way, unless you live in a bubble devoid of all human contact, then your personality is your own, but that's a pathetic life. Wait, I lost my point. Hang on. Okay. So, because your personality is not our own, therefore no two people can be the same. And because of that, every one of us, every person in this room has something to contribute. For example, another analogy, cumin, paprika, black pepper, white pepper, bell pepper, all those things, ingredients in my kitchen, I like to cook. All those things, they may look the same, they may even taste the same, they may have the same color, but each of those ingredients adds a different texture, a different flavor to the food I'm making. Just like that, all these different people provide different perspectives, different viewpoints that are necessary for us to live our lives. In a business setting, you need optimists who are willing to take risks and expect rewards and good fortune from those. But then you also need pessimists who make sure that business team doesn't go off tangent and make terribly stupid decisions and cost the company money. Okay, that's part one of my speech. And then part two, this is about introversion and extroversion. So, can you raise your hands who's extroverted? Only one, don't lie to me. There's more than, dude. Okay, fine. Apparently most of the people in this hall are introverts. Well, in the world today, it's required, it's wanted of you to be an extrovert. To be an introvert is like basically social stigma. It's like leprosy to be an introvert. So why? But introverts are usually leaders and the people who make things happen. But introverts, of course, they do work as well. Some famous introverts, maybe you've heard of these people: Bill Gates, Abraham Lincoln, Eleanor Roosevelt, Mahatma Gandhi, Albert Einstein. All these people, they are necessary for the advancement of the human race. But yeah, it's not a crime to be an introvert, Sometimes we just have to spend time by ourselves. We have to introspective. We have to look inside ourselves and not always depend on other people for our gratification and for our self-worth. Extroverts, they like to hang out with other people. They have time and money to burn, but introverts are usually like, with poor people or something. I don't know. Okay, so yeah, I guess that's about it. I've reached the 10-minute mark, so that's good enough. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.